Previously on Wanga Connect.
Why did I have to go to church after all? Because I'm not getting the answers that I was expecting. You know, the kind of answers I was expecting our pastor to tell me was like, we are going to pray for that man. You know, we want to see God.
We pray for him to die.
You know, to punish him. I needed to see God punish him.
Elijah's thunder and fire.
Yes. So that is the kind of fire I was looking for.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that is not what God was intending.
Yeah.
And I was compelled in the midst of that pain and frustration. The Holy Spirit compelled me that I have to forgive. And so when I went back home after vacation, because we were not in communication,
Yes.
so I decided, and even if I called, he could not pick my calls.
Yeah.
So I decided, let me just text. And I sent a text and I said that, you know what, in as much as you have hurt us, including your children, I have decided, I'm actually compelled to forgive. And I have chosen to forgive you. For all the heartaches that you have made us go through, I have forgiven you.
Wanga Connect with Joy Wambui Kariuki.
All right. There's no way you can come to our household and we fail to tell you karibu. So karibu tena to Wanga Connect with Joy Wambui Kariuki. And you're watching this show on YouTube. So please subscribe so that you can get more of these stories, because these are just the beginning of it. And we were talking to Keziah. Keziah was actually, we were having this conversation with Keziah, and like we said, this one is basically dialogue. We are inviting you into our homes so that you can be able to get to hear what we talk about as pillars and as your support system, because each and every one of us has been at that place. And there are times when you wonder, what would warranty, because this is a question that I asked myself, what would really warranty for you to be kicked out by somebody? What would make them kick you out of this home? Like, Keziah, would you mind sharing with us what made you to be kicked out, if you'd like to share that with us, or just a bit of, just disclose kidogo what really happened within that space of being in a marriage with somebody who later looks at you and says, get out of my house. What did you go through? I think that's the best thing. What did you go through, so that we can get our viewers to really understand?
Yeah, actually what drove to my marriage breaking was there was a lot of infidelity in the family. And the culture, our culture, the men tend to, or where the family where I was married in, one thing I was warned by my in-laws was that a woman has no voice in that family. Unfortunately, where the family where I come from, we have been empowered. And my parents have taught us to stand for our rights.
Oh yes, our village is great.
So it was very conflicting, because now here I'm armed, and that is why actually my dad even took me to college. And here now I'm in a family where I'm not supposed to look for a job, because I'm supposed to remain a housewife forever. And yet, even when we were dating, these things were never mentioned to me, and I was not asked not to continue with my college, with my learning and education. So it came at a point where my parents started following it up, and they were like, we can't take our daughter all the way to college and you lock her in the house. And by the way, you are locked in the house and there is no provision. So for those 7.5 years, I used to be sustained by my parents and my siblings.
Yet you have already left their home.
Yes, and I'm married already.
That's annoying, yeah.
Yeah, so it reached a point where my dad felt, no, this was too much. And now because here I am, I'm being compelled to fit in a different culture where a woman has no say. To me, it was an abuse already. And I felt I was caged. And so at the end of those 7.5 years, I said enough was enough.
Yeah.
And I decided I have to look for a job. And I went and got a job. But now when I got the job, it was like now, to this guy, it's a show off. I'm trying to prove that I am better off than him.
Yeah.
And you know, in a family, as a woman, you see things are not working well and you point out. I was not supposed to open my mouth. I was supposed to remain silent. And when that did not happen, that is now when the issues of infidelity came in.
Yeah.
I realized that yes, some other relation, not one, not two.
And disrespecting you in the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and a lot of abuse, even for the children, because now it is now I'm now the breadwinner. The guy is just there, is just a figure, and it was becoming too much for me. So at some point I felt it was too much, and I decided I would go home and let my parents know. Before I pack my bags and go, I let my parents know that I'm tired with this relationship and I'm ready to go it on my own.
Yeah.
So I made a trip back to the village, and I went and I told my parents what I was going through, and they were more than willing to walk the journey with me because they knew the kind of pain I was going through. So I made a mistake of not going to their place.
Should you go?
And I don't know. And somebody called and he told them that they have seen, he told him that they had seen me in the village. And so by the time I was coming back, he was already armed with information. And I was removed. I of course, having traveled for a long period of time, you go and the first thing you do is to take a shower.
So wait, when you're going back to your home, you're now going back to your husband again?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm coming back.
Yeah.
So that now I can prepare myself. I can start disengaging myself from this abusive marriage.
Yeah.
I was not coming to pack and go that day. I went first of all to inform my parents so that I can get their blessing. And they know where at what point I am with my marriage. So when coming back now, I was not even allowed to settle. I was removed from the bathroom. And my due, I was actually in my menses.
Oh no.
And I was pulled from the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
And I was thrown out of the house.
Ivo tup tup.
Yes. So I decided now, because already I knew he was in another relationship and he didn't wanted to bring this other woman in the house. And because they had tried to get me out of the house and I was, you know, when I got married, I had really purposed that I want to settle.
Yeah.
So I was that kind of a wife that I can actually bear with it. So they had tried all manner of theatrics to get me out of the house, and it was not possible.
Oh, including his family?
Yes.
Okay.
So when I was thrown out of the house, I decided, because they wanted the children, but they did not need the mother.
Separate a mother from there.
And me, I was like, I've gone through this journey with my children.
Yeah.
And they were not already these boys. They are kind of my firstborn was seriously abused by the father.
How?
physical and emotional.
Yeah.
And the boy started changing, even in as far as performance was concerned in school.
Yeah.
And his self-esteem went really down. The boy could not open his mouth because anytime the dad could come in the house, he could just make a sign, and everybody rushes from the sitting room and go to the bedrooms. If I'm in the kitchen, the boys will come there and come there, as long as the father is there. So I felt there was no way somebody else will come and bring up my children up. And I decided, let me get the kids out of the house. Once they are out of the house, then I can, it doesn't matter. And Mark, you have just come from home, so I did not have any money. It was at the end of the month, and I only had my phone and 100 shillings in my pocket.
And a lot of trouble underneath.
Yes. So when I got the opportunity to get the children out of the house, they were in pajamas because it was raining. It was on a Sunday. They had not gone to church because mom was not there to take them to church. So the boys I managed to get the boys out of the house. And that's how now we got out in pajamas. And from that time we never got back, even going for what we had lost, we had left behind.
So Keziah, forgiveness for you was not just for you. We have now had an introduction to even the children.
Yes.
Because offense, it's like a wave that spreads, yeah?
Yeah, so we lost everything, and when I managed to get out of the house, I used the 100 shillings I had to call a friend of mine, and I explained to her, because we could share my experiences. So she was not new to what we were going through. And I told her, you know what, right now we are homeless. We have nowhere else to go, even to spend the night. And she told me to go to her place. So that's how we landed in her home, and we were accommodated there for 1 month. And it was not easy because now I have my 2 boys, I have the house help, and we have gone in another family's place. So I was not comfortable. I was not comfortable. And after 1 month, after organizing myself for 1 month, I told her, now we are really grateful for all the help that you have given us, and I think it is time. So I did not know where we are going at that point, but I could not continue being accommodated in somebody else's house anymore. So we got ourselves a shelter, but there was nothing in that house. So we learned to sleep on the floor for some months. We had nothing, so we could go to people's gates and tunachokora mapipa, tunatafuta whatever is there. If there are plastic containers, tungechukua, and we made those ones our seats for about 6 months as we organized ourselves.
That is a story that viewers, you just sit back first and you want to first go on a break. Let's just go on a break. Let's go on a break, and we'll be back and listen to more of what was the process like after this. I've listened to Keziah's story before, but every time it's very heavy to my spirit. We'll be back.
Thank you for watching. Catch new episodes every Wednesday. Hit the subscribe button and share with your friends so that this content